was the perfect call out there. Once he got the blocks, he made a move, and he was headed to the end zone.
Well, ain't it nice to see a familiar face? Welcome to Accessibility Settings.
Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's so many, give it Sunday magic. Round of applause and you go, that's it. Damn, that's a bomb with a flick on my wrist. Jersey on my chest. That's a
Accessibility. Madden 23 gives you control the exact, stick with what you know. Traditional old school Madden style passing. Lead the receiver in any direction by using the left stick.
Lights out, you snooze. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden. It's so many, give it Sunday magic. Lights came, prime time action. Run it up, touchdown, I'm snapping. In the field with the plays, John Madden.
This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than... One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over in Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. And he played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft at 30 rounds then.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. Was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles. You and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles, with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And was there during that time. I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
And they go play action with Favre. And oh, it'll be intercepted. They may have thrown the interception, obviously less than ideal, but I think they also sent a message that they're going to push the ball downfield in this one.
Yeah, not afraid to take their shots right away, huh? What was that, like a 9-9-9 route? 9 meaning go? just went ahead and went for it. Didn't work out so well because it certainly appeared the defense was prepared. But I'm with you. Okay, so it didn't work this time. Doesn't mean we won't try it again later.
Meanwhile, Brady's throw into the hands of Gonzalez here. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. So we're through one at the Coliseum in Oakland. 0-0 our score. This is the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the draw, here's Allen. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride the Raiders in the NFL were about to go on.
They keep it on the ground. Allen again. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. It's a first down on a gain of 10. 2 minutes remain here in the first half of the John Madden Legacy game. We'll be back. Hey, we want to let you know, give you a fair warning that coming up at halftime, the folks at EA Sports have put together a very nice package in tribute to Coach Madden. So make sure you stick around for that. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. Well, look, we're watching a quarterback here that's obviously been around for a long time. That's a throw he wishes he had back.
He certainly does, but as you well know, this is a guy that's used to taking a few chances, used to fitting it into tight windows. These are throws that he's made before. Didn't happen to get it completed in this case.
The NFC offense coming out here, and you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game, then he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Well, to get what he was trying to do, he was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Brady. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. And the pressure gets to him again. Jack Youngblood drops him again for the 2nd straight play, and it brings up 4th down. On is the Hall of Famer Ray Guy to punt this away on 4th down. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Now the NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. So we're at halftime of the John Madden Legacy game, and now we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducting coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. The drive starts with a run by Allen. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of... But he doesn't want to step away from the game of football, so he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand in broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Brady, it's complete to Brown, right side. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on to call 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too. Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And with it, they have taken the lead. Well, they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. Past midfield. Still going. And he will score. Touchdown, NFC. And people still trying to get back to their seats from the concession stand here at the start of the 3rd quarter, and boom, we got points on the board.
And you just identified why the bulk of stadiums have increased presence in the concession areas, right? TVs, loudspeakers, so people can still follow the game. And right now, they're bummed out that they missed that big return to start this half.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. So through 3 quarters of the John Madden legacy game, it's the NFC Stars. Back now here on EA Sports, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. Anderson now to kick this one away. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The offense for the AFC set to go now. A golden opportunity for them now following the interception. They need to try to at least get 3. Obviously, a touchdown puts them in a much more secure position. They stay on the ground with Allen. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Now Brady on the bootleg. He'll buy some time right. He finds his man complete. It's Gonzalez. Only able to gain a couple there. And that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Ray Guy now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told him, call me when it's 11-on-11, and he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden the video game continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way, and John himself, many will remember, was a commentator. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their 2nd, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Up the middle they go with Sanders. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll run. It's Sanders. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. 4th down now after a loss of 2. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do.
Now they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a 1st down. Now Sanders. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. Well, this has certainly been special. And Charles, as we wind down toward the end of this John Madden legacy game, your final thoughts?
Well, let's face it, partner, it's going to be hard to overestimate the impact that he made, not just on the sport of football, but on his family, friends, players, co-workers, and in the lives of millions of Americans.
So what a finish to this ball game. The NFC able to pull it out in the end. And for all of us at EA Sports, one final look back as we say, this one's for you, Coach.
I come alive in the dark.
Time to decide how you're going to make your Madden become coach once again and captain a